I am not a Homelite Super XL expert at all. However, this one here, I disassembled to clean it and get it repaired. The top end had burned up, and the reason most likely is probably common to these, but it was new to me. Basically, the bolts here that go all the way through and into this housing, one of them, specifically this one, had basically stripped out and could not be tightened, so there was probably an air leak, and the saw ran lean. So what I noticed was that these bolts, the stock bolts, don't come anywhere near the this surface. So I wanted some longer bolts. So these are they're number 10 32 thread per inch, and they are 2 and I believe 11/16 long, or 2 and 5/16 or something like that. 2 inches and then change 5/16 or something like that. Kind of an odd size, and they are a hex head with a slot. So obviously, if you've taken these apart, you know you probably need the hex part more than the slotted part at certain stages of the game. So what I did was I looked around the internet and I tried to find a replacement. These are 3-inch, number 10 by 32 hex head. I found them on McMasterCarr. I had to buy a box of 10. They were not expensive until you add the shipping, so I bought some steel for another project I was doing. However, these are too long. 3 inches is too long, so I had to cut off 6 threads off the top. And I used a method I don't recommend, but I did it. And then I have a thread repair, and I kind of cleaned them up. I had nuts on it when I did the cut, 3 of them, and I moved them up and down to kind of try to clean it. And then I again have the these Nutrix, very old Nutrix thread repairs for 32 thread per inch. So that's what I did, and I'm going to show you again now that you understand what I was doing. These are almost probably about 1 thread away from maxing this out, and they're in new material in there. So there was stripped out thread and there was new thread. So I would have had to drill this whole thing out and put a helicoil in there or something like that to repair that. And I don't have any experience or skill with that, so I chose to just try to get into the new material. How long would it last? I don't know. This other one is also got weak threads, and I don't think this handle has a lot of hours left on it because of that, and then the way that this thing is set up. I'd much rather try to countersink a hole and put a bolt in and put nuts up here, like more of a modern layout. But this is for someone. It's kind of their original handle, and I decided I'd want to keep the original handle. I don't expect this saw to run tons and tons, but I wanted to be able to run, and I believe the air leak was what burned up the top end on this guy. So I don't know if that helps. I'll put the part number for these in the comments. Obviously, you could have someone put a slot in here, or you could do it yourself. They're a little different than the originals. They kind of have a recessed slot, right? So you can see those ones are slightly different, but it's good enough. Number 10, 32, somewhere in the range of 2 3/4 inches long total. So this is an unadulterated one again, and so the actual length of the ones installed in the saw are, well, they're right in between those two amounts. So it's not very many threads holding it in, but it's enough. And if you were going to try to run it this way, I'd definitely dip that end in blue Loctite, something like that, and try not to take this thing apart too often. So I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I'm happy that it worked. So there you go. I would just get a new handle if you can, but maybe they're all going to have this problem. So